What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. After Sound here, bringing you Splinterlands content every single day. We also stream right here on this channel every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday morning, so come by and say hello. All right, guys. Well, in case you missed it, on Discord in the Maverick channel, Farpetrada was chatting last night and gave a little bit of a heads up on what we can expect in Land 1.6. Now, for all the salty folks out there, yes, Land 1.5 is still not out, and we have no idea when it's going to come out, but we do know that it has been stripped down of a lot of things, and so I'm curious to know what will be, or at least at this point in time, is planned to be included for 1.6, which should be following as soon as 1.5 is out. So you can see here, and Farpetrada did put this disclaimer that these things are subject to change, but the 1.6 features are the automated market maker, so the grain and DEC LP. I think that's going to be a huge one. You have land activity pages, so similar to the currency activity. That's not, I don't know if we need that right away, but that's actually going to be good to have. DEC burn for soulbound cards, meaning that I guess you'll be able to use soulbound cards on land, so that should be pretty big. DEC rental market. Now, this is something that we have not talked about, at least not in a while and not at any great length. But if you need DEC in order to stake on a land plot, you won't just have to go out and buy like 50,000 DEC, for example. In the same way that you can rent SPS, there may be markets in which you can rent DEC. Now, I have no idea how that's going to work. I personally don't feel like that should be a high priority thing. If you need the DEC, go out and buy it, right? That's just what it comes down to. But I understand if people want a DEC rental market, that's what they're planning to do. So that is part of 1.6. Then card rentals for land. This is another area in which I think it's going to shake up the production all across the board, because the moment you can go out and you don't have to own like an Alpha Gold Foil Legendary, but you can rent one from somebody that maybe doesn't have land or isn't really focused on land, that could be interesting. So that's something that we've wanted to have. I think at this point, everybody was resigned to the fact that, okay, well, you need to own all your land, you need to own all your cards, and you can't really do anything outside of that. Well, if that's coming in 1.6, that could shake things up dramatically. I think 1.5 will still be fun, but once that comes out, that could actually be great. Then you got the prefix titles. Again, this was another 1.5 item that got pushed back to 1.6. I made a video about this several months ago saying that I think that this is probably the biggest thing, just because, the game at the end of the day is driven by whales, and I want to see all these whales fighting for research points, because those do not have any monetary gain. So it would just be for the vanity of being called the Vonarch or whatever the other top ones titles are. And so granted, they will have in-game benefits such as giving you a boost in your rewards, but outside of that, it's still pretty awesome that having them go for it would be fantastic. Okay, I don't know why I'm saying numbers here, but third to the last is what I meant. Totem fragments will be able to be combined. I have this working now, so this may go with 1.5 is what Farpetrada put in the notes here. Now, keep in mind, you will be able to find totem fragments you will be able to find them in 1.5, but we were told originally that 1.6 is when they would be back live in terms of being able to use them, combine them. But it sounds like that might be actually a little bit closer than normal. And then surfing, this is most likely will be its own independent thing of 1.6 and then leaderboards. But let's get back to surfing here. Now, there's another comment because somebody asked Farpetrada about surfing, and he said it really isn't complicated to code. The thing that is making it its own update rather than being 1.6 is ironing out all the little details. How do you stop people from surfing? Do you just stake a single card? Can you just mark all your deed as closed? What about when you want to kick someone off? Things have been talked about, but all the details of what it means to surf need to be talked about and settled on and put into a white paper and post. So my guess is this, right? We know all the stuff from 1.6. Now, if we're going to transfer over to land surfing, I don't think that Matt or anybody has spent significant time thinking this through. Now, I know Hardpoint was on and he had all these different ideas, and this was months ago on the People's Guild podcast. Shout out to them. But at this point, I don't think that there's been any kind of actual like game design or product design done from Matt, or at least if there has been, it has not gone very far. And that's kind of where my thought has been, right? People were so excited for land surfing, and I kept saying, Matt's not talking about this. The team's not talking about it. I don't think it's going to be happening anytime soon, let alone maybe even, let alone happen at all. Now, what it looks like is that, they're going to get 1.5 out, and Matt has been hard at work on the 2.0 white paper. So land surfing is not really a 1.5, 1.6, or 2.0 type of thing. I think that's what Farbertrot is trying to get at here. It's its own thing. That's a cool idea, but Matt just hasn't had a chance to actually jump into designing it. So my guess is that if we do see land 1.5 before the end of the year, then we will probably transition to 1.6, maybe end of the year, maybe early next year. But in that time frame, we would have already had the 2.0 design out, because that's the white paper Matt is working on. And land surfing is something that he can then focus on while 1.6 is being worked on and then deployed. And so if we do get land surfing, I really wouldn't expect it until maybe like mid Q1 of next year. I don't think it would come out in January, maybe February, maybe March. But at this point, everything has just been delayed so much. And so I almost think to myself, I'm like, okay, land surfing is a cool idea, but do we want that before land 2.0? So that's the question I'm going to leave you guys all with here. And I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. If the team is strapped for resources, which we absolutely know that they are, yes, 1.5 and then 1.6, which is really just 1.5, all the stuff that they weren't able to get out. What do you want the team to work on after that? Would you rather them get started on 2.0, which we don't have the white paper on, but we know it's going to be great and massive in a sense, right? Or should they start working on land surfing? So let me know your thoughts in the comments below, but I just thought I'd share these little tidbits of alpha here dropped in Mav Chat. I would love to hear your comments, or I'd love to hear your thoughts. I'll catch you all in the next video and see you around the game. Take care.